Hi, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have the RedMagic 9 Pro with me and I'm going to tell you what I liked and disliked the most after testing it in case you're considering buying it. So, as always, let me tell you, don't buy the RedMagic 9 Pro without watching this video. Let's consider its launch price in Mexico, which is 13,999 pesos. On the screen, you see the reference price in dollars. Remember that this video is a summary of what I like the most and the least, but if there is something I do not mention in this video, it means that it is within what I would expect from a device of this price. Remember that I have the full review available in case you want to know it in more depth. Let's start with what I like the most. The screen is spectacular everywhere you look, and it even comes with an under-screen camera, so you don't have any interruptions. So obviously, for anyone who wants to enjoy a gaming experience without any interruptions, it's an excellent screen. It also has very good picture quality, very good brightness, and very good refresh rate. Everything you could ask for, this display has it well. There is also an edition with 512 gigabytes of storage and 16 gigabytes of RAM. So also for those people who want to download very heavy games and have a very large library of games, they could purchase that version and they're going to enjoy a very good experience. It has 960 Hz in its touch sampling rate, and with a special mode it goes up to 2000. This will allow the device to react very quickly to the gestures or touches you make on the screen and gives you a very important competitive advantage because for those who want the most demanding games, it is clear that they need a very fast response time, and in this case, you can find it. In fact, it also has touch triggers, and you know that these buttons can be mapped to replace any button on the screen, so by simply pressing or touching this area, you will enable the game option. Actually, it also gives you a lot of competitive advantage because you don't need to have your fingers inside the screen. The stereo sound is of very good quality and is very powerful. Obviously, in this price range, you would expect all devices to have stereo sound, but in this case, it stands out for the volume level it reaches. In addition, it does have a headphone jack. This can definitely become something very important for those who enjoy gaming, because with Bluetooth headsets, there is a level of delay. As much as they are very advanced headphones, which have very low latency, it doesn't compare to the experience that you can achieve through wired headphones. It has 3 microphones, and one of them is placed on the side frame, so when you're playing in landscape format, that microphone is always available. So, also in this aspect, the device is very well thought out and designed to give a good gaming experience. If you're playing chatting with your friends, you just don't have to worry about covering up the microphone or anything like that. You play simple, and the audio is coming through just fine. The camera isn't outstanding, but it takes good pictures against the light. That's something worth noting because suddenly there are other cameras that can suffer a lot in backlight. This one I think comes out with a good result. And it lets you take panoramic pictures with the ultra-wide camera. That is also an aspect that very few devices in the industry allow it, and it is surprising that this cell phone, despite being focused on gamers, does have this option for much more spectacular panoramic shots. It supports 80-watt charging and the charger is included in the box. Obviously, that's very good news, not only because you won't have to look for a separate charger, but also because it's a very fast charge. Also, remember that you can use the fan to cool the device when you're charging it. It also supports Wi-Fi 7 networks. And that's something that's not yet common in homes, but it's already future-proofed, and you're always going to have a very fast and stable connection. But the most important thing is the games. It comes with a whole suite of tools that would take me forever to explain, but obviously you can go check out the video review to see all the tools that RedMagic offers at the software level when you're playing. Not only can you map triggers, but you can also create macros. You can have different types of color calibration in certain games. You can have a fixed crosshairs, timers, and many other things. And obviously the fan helps a lot to keep it cool. Although, honestly, I didn't find it the coolest experience possible, especially if you enable the special modes that have the maximum performance, you might get to notice a bit more heating than we would like. Although lately it has received updates that are improving this performance, then, definitely, for gamers is the best option. But not everything I liked. Now let's go with what I didn't like. Its distribution is very limited. That is, it is not so easy to acquire it, especially at this price. Surely if you buy it from resellers, they will give it to you a little more expensive. The official distribution in Mexico is handled through RedMagic's global store. So you have to buy it online, and that can generate distrust in some people. It is not that it is impossible to find it in a physical store, but it will be much more complicated because it will be through resellers. The fan can give you the feeling that you have to be a lot more careful with the water. So that's definitely an aspect to consider. It's not going to be as easy for you to use this device near water completely confidently. You're always going to have that concern. Although there are several designs and colors available, each one is uniquely with its storage version. That is, I cannot purchase this same design with a different storage configuration. That's simply a small aesthetic detail. For example, if you like the design of the more expensive model, there will be no way for you to have that same color in the less expensive model. The front camera is really bad, but really bad. Definitely being below the screen makes you gain a lot of space visually, but the pictures are really terrible. You see a picture of a very plain cell phone. So if you wanted to take several selfies with your phone, you should definitely look for other options because this phone takes really bad selfies, especially against the light, and the video recording with the front camera is horrible. If the pictures I already said were bad, the recording is definitely even worse, because the photography still gives it some processing and tries to remove the cloudy effect and some other things. But in the video, obviously, it's not powerful enough to try to improve this result. So the video comes out very disastrous. Also, the front camera only records in full HD at 30 frames per second. So, in this price range, we could already ask him to record in, but it confirms us that the front camera will not be a priority in this cell phone. In fact, in general, cameras are not usually a priority on RedMagic's device. When recording, you can't switch between different lenses. That also takes away versatility or zoom range because you need to stop your recording and then start it again with the other lens. And that's really not a good experience. Also, the battery, despite being 6,500 milliamperes, actually performs like a 5,000 milliamperes battery or less. So the battery sounds very impressive, but once you put it to the test, it doesn't really seem to surprise much, especially since it has so much power. So if you're going to demand a lot from it, obviously the processor is going to consume the battery too quickly. And at the software level, it doesn't offer an extraordinary update policy. In fact, on their website, they just say more than 2 years of software support, but obviously they're talking about security patches. So although it does receive constant updates, as time goes by, they will be reduced and possibly only 1 or 2 years will be updated in its version of the operating system. And for this price, it is obviously something that can leave you obsolete in a few years, when the games ask for Android 16 or something similar as a minimum requirement. But if you already bought it, let me know your experience in the comments. Tell me what you thought, if you think it is the best device for gaming or you think there is some other proposal. It may be some cheaper cell phone that offers similar features. I don't know. Remember that there are people interested in buying this device who will also read your comments, so I hope you can participate down here. For the moment, this has been all regarding this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, you know you can tell me about it, and I'll see you next time.